So this is Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, and we're just coming out of the tap facility where the game starts. So couldn't resist starting there. It looks absolutely stunning, this game. And I thought, well, this might be a nice little river to have a look at, actually. Granted, it's probably the river that has had the most attention in this whole game, I'd say, being the very first thing you see when you come out from the indoor locations at the start. So, bearing that in mind, they'll have put a lot more polish onto this one than all the other ones. But, I mean, it starts out beautifully, doesn't it? All those lovely reflections. One of the things I like about the water surfaces in Avatar is that you get these little wind, like ripples, as the wind sort of just goes across the water. And yeah, there you see it there. Every now and again, you get a little sort of going across the surface. It's more apparent in larger bodies of water. But yeah, I mean, this is a nice little stream, isn't it? Beautiful banks. The riverbed looks great. It's as you'd expect, all the exposed river pebbles and stuff. And yeah, we start off with a drop to lose some elevation rather than a slopey ribbon. That makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, it's kind of a little bit odd there. It's not sort of being very reactive with its own flow, is it? As the water plunges over, it kind of just comes over that drop and goes meh, straight across. A little bit of a funny slopey bend thing. But, they're thinking about why it's bent around to that side. They've got some supporting geology to kind of, direct the river around. Rivers don't turn for no reason. So there's always got to be some underlying geological reason why a river has changed direction. Usually sort of impermeable rocks, things like that. All of course following the slope. So, rivers meander and wander around according to gravity's, pulling it down the incline. And if it hits the blocker, it'll just go around as best it can. So, yeah, a few little VFX. Kind of a fairly uninspired sort of foamy flow, isn't it? I mean, it's nothing to get too excited about there. But I think that the art direction on this river is exceptional. It's just catching the light so well and reflecting all that foliage. It just looks beautiful. But again, the geology of the river, they know what they're doing in terms of how rivers go down an incline. And it's just this sort of stuff. You get a sort of flat section, a bit of a pooling, and then it drops over a little drop. It widens out into a pool as the water erodes out material. And then it carries on its way, looking very flat, generally. River, when you measure the incline of rivers, it's super, super small. Really small angle, unless you're looking at rapids or very small mountain streams that are crashing and burbling down, But I like this. This is a great river. I think it's looking really nice. It's got great attention to detail, great supporting art on the riverbanks. And yeah, they've got the form of a river in ways that many games just cannot seem to do. That's some interesting sort of flow stuff there, isn't there? There is it like kind of streaking out from the waterfall here. I don't know. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Slightly strange, but kind of nice in the same way. But yeah, that's a nice little fall, isn't it? And of course, these rocks here, it's great, and I love the overhang as it's kind of turning around. I mean, that looks slightly odd to me in that you've got a turn, a curve in the river. You've got a slight rise, but then it drops down again here. And I would have said that would have been a pool. That would have formed a pool. I mean, we're getting super detailed here, aren't we? But, as rainfall comes and you get higher at water levels, it would have come over here and it would have dropped down, and then you would have got a catchment pond in this section here. So that's the thing, when you look at the terrain either side of a river, generally it doesn't dip back down again so quickly after a river. Because then you would have water catchment in that area. It generally always goes up to some degree. And it always looks strange when you get a downward incline so close to a riverbank. Generally doesn't happen that much unless it's man-made. So So, but moving on from there, that little niggle that caught my eye, but you know, all these great rock edges. Yeah, I've missed this game. It's been a while since I've just had a muck around in it, and it's so beautiful. I love it. I think it's an exceptional game. And waterfalls are just brilliant in this game. They're so good. So we're coming out into the lake here now, and you can see those, yeah, those sort of ruffles there of the wind that's blowing it. I mean, let's call Carol, and you know, while we're looking at it, let's just check out the big waterfalls. Where are you, Carol? Where have you gone? There you are. Ever faithful Carol. On we go, because these waterfalls are brilliant. They're so amazingly done. I really like them. Not enough caves behind them for my liking, but you know, it's such fun just sort of buzzing around and having a look at them. You know, they're really well made, dramatic, exciting sort of rock falls, and of course the paths kind of go over them. You know, they really make the most of them. Yeah, another great cool capture and pull. Look at those effects. You know, they're really good. I think these are some of the best, well, certainly the biggest waterfalls I've seen in any game. Pandora being Pandora, you know, it's larger than life in every way, isn't it? But rivers form a large part of this landscape, and so it's pretty important. So another river here in the upper plains. So I thought I'd just have a quick look at this one because it's a bit more excitable than the other one. It's quite sort of still and lazy, and then it starts to get more steep from this section onwards. Same old problem here, water incline, looking decidedly strange. So it is a mixed bag, and as I said, that river that's coming out of the tap facility is the first thing you see. And so that river has had a lot more polish than all the other ones. I mean, this is back to the normal order of business for rivers in games, isn't it? Just river chucked in, just sloping down at some crazy weird angle. It makes no sense. It's all just down to time and priority, that's all. So, you know, again, it's just, yeah, when you've got so much landscape to do, you can save some time on the rivers by just probably generating a ribbon that goes down. And, you know, I wonder if they've got some procedural approaches. Various companies have procedural tools to embed rivers in the landscape based on splines and stuff. So, you know, and it'll generate a water surface mesh too. And they're generally not that great, but they get the job done. You know, that's just, yeah, the more I look, the more problems I see with that. It even looks a bit slow to me as well. I mean, I think that river in Skyrim probably looked better than that, really, in its construction, in its form. You know, we're not looking at shaders and materials so much as the geological form or the geometry of the river and the river water surface and the banks and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, really interesting. And the floor maps, you know, they're all right. They make an attempt to go through. I mean, there's a nice floor coming through here, and you can see it scooping around between these rocks and down there, can't you? But then equally, you see a lot of it just disappearing off into the rocks. So it's all down to flow map resolution. And, you know, I mean, that's a nice section there where it kind of levels off. You know, I think it would be gushing far faster than what that is. And I think perhaps this is more of an honest look at the rivers of Avatar as opposed to the first river coming out of tap facility. You know, games developers will always prioritize the sort of critical path, the mission path, and especially at the start of the game. A lot of stuff is weighted toward the start of the game because they know that a great percentage of people will probably never get to the end of the game. So it's weighted toward the front end. So yeah, you know, you could make a lot of these rivers. I would have loved to work on these rivers. It would have been amazing. But then again, I probably wouldn't have been afforded the time or opportunity to make the best of them. You know, artists are very often hamstrung by deadlines and the scope of the area that they're working on. So, but there we go. Yeah, so that's a good look at two sort of sides of the rivers in Avatar. So I wonder what will be next. Here we are in Black Myth Wukong, And let's follow this river. Let's see how this measures up to the other rivers we've been looking at. So, of course, the water surface is lovely. Oh, a little disturbance by a creature. Take that. Disappear. Right, yeah, I mean, the water surface material is brilliant, of course, isn't it? It looks really nice. Again, let's get rid of him. Thank you. Bye-bye. It looks to have some nice flow maps going on. You know, you can clearly see the flow diverting around this rock to the right and the left. It's got a lovely sort of ripple on it, hasn't it? Yeah, that's looking pretty beautiful, isn't it? But it's really well constructed, isn't it? I think it's really nice. Oh, you can see the main flow there, actually. That's a good spot for it. You know, they've thought about where the stronger flow should be coming from through this. You know, it's not going to be in these little sides here. It's not going to be at the edge here. You know, the main channel is coming through these rocks here and down there. And that's certainly showing off in the faster flow that you can just see there to the character's left. There we go. All right, so let's follow it down here then. I mean, it's all pretty slow flow and flat. So, you know, we've not got any issues with funny sloppy water yet. It's easy to do a river surface when it's flat. It's when you start needing to go downhill that it takes thought and observation of real rivers. But, you know, look at our water surface there. That looks really good, doesn't it? Yeah, they've got really nice stuff going on there. It's not massively reactive to the character, I don't think, and the effects look a little strange. They're quite flickery, aren't they? And like, yeah, almost like kind of pulses of light almost in there. Yeah, and the VFX is very static on the water surface as well. So it's not really sort of reacting to the water, is it? But you know, it kind of gives a certain separation between the character and the water. But yeah, so as far as interactivity, somewhat lacking. Modelling the whole river thing, I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? Really nice modelling. The water's reacting to the rocks that are in the river, so a nice flow map. Nice bridge as well, isn't it? Cool. Excellent. Some lilies. Lovely. So, how are we doing here then? Are we in a bit of an incline? Got a bit of a change of direction. Yeah, again, going around that rock and between these. So, it's all looking pretty cool. It's looking nice, getting very shallow. And we've just disappeared. We've just... we decided to stop being a river. And... just end. That's a bit of a surprise. But there we go. Okay. So that's all right. Well, that's not great, is it? It's not ideal for a river. Right. Well, I will go and find a different river. One that doesn't just stop. Okay. We found another river. And here we go. It's quite a sort of shallow, wide, reasonably fast flowing actually. And down here, so let's follow it up river. Okay, so okay, very strange bit where it just disappears. I mean, what is it with so many games where like your rivers like just come in and out of existence? There's no continuity or consistency in a lot of rivers, and sadly, again, another modern game. Just, I don't know, I mean, it's not hard to avoid this sort of thing, but again, it's just like rivers are so often just an afterthought, and they're like, just like, whatever. So, well, yeah, so your amazing disappearing river, again, back into it. So when it's here, it's, you know, looking great. Really nicely placed boulders. I mean, there's, oh, wow, they're heads, aren't they? They're not boulders, they're actual heads. I hadn't noticed. But for whatever reason, it's full of heads. And it's just, yeah, I mean, it looks great, doesn't it? It's, at this point, you know, we've got a fairly wide, flat river, fairly easy to do. A little bit sort of slow there, I suppose, but it's getting interesting. Now we're getting a bit of a slope on it here, and yeah, you see, now we're starting to get the same old slopey ribbon syndrome, aren't we, again? It just looks odd to me. You know, I mean, here you should be having a couple of steps here. A little bit of kind of excitement and agitation. The floor map's doing its job, you know, it's going around fine. But this is a great excuse to have like a sort of, you know, not a waterfall, but a stepping down to lose the height. And, you know, you could have had a really nice feature around here where it gushes down, tumbles over some little drops, and maybe a little channel funnels round. You know, I mean, I'm picking again, but, you know, this is just the thing with water, isn't it? It's the thing with rivers. Again and again, I see it all the time. And, you know, you don't have slopey water like this. You never have slopey water. The only time you would ever really have slopey water if the water is sheeting over impervious rock that's underlying the riverbed. And that's pretty rare. You know, it's pretty rare for a river to have that. So yeah, same old really, isn't it? And but you know, this is a bit off the beaten path. It's not really on the critical route through the level, so you can see why a developer assigns less importance to it. You know, they're not making a river game, are they? They're making a game that's got a river in it. So you know, I get it. But why are you going to all this trouble of modelling this beautiful environment? Can you not make a riverbed too? I mean, you know, it's no more work than what you've already done in all of this stuff and all of this landscape that's not a river. So, you know, to me, it's not like you have to go to extra special trouble and attention to do it. It's just a matter of putting equal modelling thought into the river. So, you know. So here we go. We've got it. I mean, you know, you've got a nice change in speed. So, you know, they're observing that sort of stuff, aren't it? It's wider here. The volume is spread out in a wider area, and as it gets funneled into this channel, it speeds up and becomes more forceful. So, you know, yeah, cool. Nice edging on the rocks as well, isn't it? That's lovely. Yeah. I mean, they got a lot right, I think. You know, they fit in, they look good, don't they? Look at this guy. What are you doing? Hello, I've got some snake friends. Would you like to meet them? See you later. Okay. See that, little chap. Right. Okay. So, how far up can we get now? So, we've got this. Again, I would argue that slope is a bit weird. Far slopier than it would be. Again, you know, your average river incline 0.14 degrees. That's on a flowing river. That is almost imperceptible in terms of incline. Whereas that looks to me to be at least 5 degrees. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, is it just me? Maybe it's just me. It's just me and other water artists. That's what it is, isn't it? You know, you spot it, you see it, it sticks out to me a mile. This could be a beautiful sort of flattish catchment pool from the water gushing down from that up there before it gathers in this sort of bunched up area and then going down this sort of chute almost. So let's have a look here. See, that's a nice little bit there. See, that's all right, isn't it? You know, that's kind of what I'm talking about, really. It's a bit slopey, but, you know, it's where it bunches up and gets channeled through little chutes and stuff. And then you got a pool. Oh, that's the edge of it, I think. Yeah, can't go anywhere there. But that looks nice going up there, doesn't it? I mean, it comes out of... Where does it come out of? Oh, it's going up there and it's gushing out of somewhere around in there, which, you know, fair enough. That's fine. It's looking good up there. Wow, the rocks are brilliant, aren't they? So yeah, that is this particular river in Black Myth Wukong.